giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Y'all know what that means. It is time to turn the page. We got to put that terrible loss behind us, unfortunately, because you got another solid to good team coming up. And it's starting with the piece up. A-Town down. Atlanta Falcons, man. We're going to take a look at this Falcons high-powered offense. Yes, it's high-powered. Versus this Cowboys defense that's just trying to hang on. We're hanging on for dear life, man. Also in the roundup, we have a gang of injury updates to all the top guys, courtesy of .com. So we will take a look at that and see who will be returning. They will have to make a decision on one of the Cowboys' best players on today. They have to make that decision today, and I think I know what it's going to be. But if they elect not to, boy, that could be trouble, even more trouble for the Dallas Cowboys. What's up with your Bomb Squad? Good morning.
Bomb Squad!
He may be coming back, too. He may be coming back. Hey, look, I want to apologize for starting super late. Yeah, I know late is late, but work stuff, man. You know, we got a new social media editor, and we're trying to make sure we're on the same page in what he's putting out, right? Because y'all know how I feel. Don't cut me up and do me like, the Volume used to do sometimes. Don't cut me up and do me wrong, man. I had to hit him up one time, and we're having a little fun. Shouts out to my guy. He's a college student just trying to figure things out. I had to hit him up and hit him with the Django. No, that's not what I said. I had to tell him, whoa. Playboy, you cannot cut out the meat and potatoes in context of a clip and make it sound like I'm saying something totally different. So I'm like, we're going to work this thing out, okay? I'm not going live until we work this thing out because, no, that's not what I said. So we got it figured out. Shouts out to my guy. The clip will be posted up a little bit later. But, sometimes you just got to make sure that things are right. Yeah, Toxic. Or I'll find somebody else to get it. Well, I'll find somebody else to do it, right?
I don't have the patience to jack with you today.
I'm just playing. I don't got the power for all that. But yeah, it is the Cowboys. It is Jerry Jones. I guess I could pull a Jerry Jones on him. No, I wouldn't do that, man. We just got to make sure we get on the same page. I don't care if it takes an hour. You're not going to put something out that I didn't say or said it a different way. Just not happening, bro. People out here crazy nowadays. Not doing it. All right. With that said, man, let's go ahead and hit this roundup and get into a little bit of this, I guess, news. It's not really much news. Nobody's returned yet, but we do have some updates on what's going on.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you!
Ooh. .com put out a whole lot. I mean, they went from top to bottom on these injury updates, y'all. So let's get into it. Starting off with Micah. I believe Mike was asked about Micah Parsons and Deron Bland. That is Mike McCarthy, head coach. And they pretty much said the same things about both, right? Dallas premier pass rusher has been out since the high ankle sprain. Both Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy have said it's too early in the week to determine whether or not Parsons has a chance to play against the Falcons this week. And brother, when we go ahead and break down this offense, you will need Micah. if you don't get Micah back. Yikes. Also, a guy you would love to have back in this one, Deron Bland. Jerry McCarthy said the same thing. It's too early to determine whether or not Deron Bland will be available against the Falcons. But Deron Bland, there has to be a decision made on him today, whether to take him off of IR or not. His 21-day window was activated 3 weeks ago, and the decision has to be made today. Why is that such a big deal? Because if he's not taken off the injury report, the IR, then he will remain on IR for the rest of the season. Now, I don't expect that to happen. Even if he's not ready to go, I think they activate him off IR, and if he's not ready to go, then he'll just be inactive on Sunday until he's ready to go. Okay, so I would be shocked if they keep him on IR, then this injury was way more severe than they let on. So I expect Deron Bland to return to the 53 this week. Whether he plays or not, well, we got to keep it, just keep our tabs on that. DeMarcus Lawrence, Steven said that was a while ago. After it happened, he was week to week. Then he got put on IR. He cannot return until at least November 10th. So we got a ways to go for DeMarcus Lawrence. There's nothing really there. Same thing for Brandon Cooks, who came out that Giants game, remember, with the weird infection injury stuff. He got put on the IR, and his 21-day window has yet to be open. Okay, interesting. But he was seen on the cords the last few weeks, and they can easily activate him for the 21-day window, and he could be back as early as November 10th against the Eagles. So maybe you get both Cooks and DeMarcus Lawrence back for the rivalry game. Marshawn Nealon, we know what happened to Marshawn. He suffered a meniscus tear. He cannot return until late November at the earliest. The Texans game, Monday Night Football, November 18th. So, or mid-November. So not much there. Did get a follow-up on Jordan Phillips, which, whatever, right? His 21-day window was activated October 23rd, and he's been practicing. So it's just a matter of, do they want to suit him up? And did that pine change your mind? And then finally, a dude I forgot was on this team. Chuma Edoga. They have not opened his practice window, but Edoga is eligible to return anytime when he's healthy. Again, not that I think it matters, but if they get into a situation where Guyton may go down again, then maybe they slide Edoga at left tackle and keep Tyler Smith at left guard, or they flip it, put Tyler at tackle and Chuma, whatever. But you get kind of an experienced backup lineman. But I don't know. I don't think it really matters for Chuma. I'm pretty sure they're just comfortable with these young guys that they got. So there you have it, Cowboys Nation. The latest on all of the Cowboys guys who are out right now. That is the injury spotlight brought to you by OSMI. They provide arthroscopic and robotic assisted orthopedic surgery, foot and ankle surgery, sports medicine, physical therapy, and a whole lot more. They have a team of specialists in offices in Fort Worth, Decatur, Mansfield that provide state-of-the-art orthopedic care to the North Texas area. If you or a loved one or, a friend need someone to go to get the best possible experience of medical care, schedule your hassle-free appointment today at osmifw.com. Me and I believe it was Dr. Booth. Yep, we talked about a couple of these guys last week. If you missed that one, go ahead and check it out on our latest episode of Doc Talk. Come on back here, Cowboys Nation. Come on back here. If we had to poll this, hey, who needs to get back here immediately? I think it's between Micah and Deron, right? Obviously, I would expect everyone to say, obviously, Micah Parsons would be the number one guy you want back here. Heading into this matchup, I would say 100%. Your pass rush has just fallen off the cliff. It wasn't great to begin with. The only guy that was getting consistent pass rush in general was Micah Parsons. He's the only guy that was getting multiple pressures each week. Didn't finish. Nobody was finishing sacks. The Cowboys haven't done that a lot, but he was the only one just really closing in on the pocket. We just watched, and we'll get into a little bit here when we break down Brock Purdy back there just filing his nails and then taking his time. Oh, okay, I guess I'll scramble because there's nothing open there. But man, two different offenses. I think both good schemes, but I might say something here later where you might be like, what? But this offense is more high powered through the air. So that's why it's even more critical, in my opinion, to get Micah Parsons back because, one, Kirk Cousins is compromised. We'll talk about why. And if you aren't able to pressure him and he can sit back there and file his nails, well, we're talking about a totally different animal from, in my opinion, a weaponry standpoint, given what happened last week with some of their injuries. So today's an important day. Tomorrow, even more important than Friday, the big one, right? If you can get Mike out there limited today, limited Thursday, and then full Friday, then I think he's trending towards playing. So we shall see. Need to have him, man. Need to have him. Yeah. Jeremy said Kirko Chains gets the time the last few QBs got. Pitt's going for 200. I got some film, man. We're gonna talk about it. It is man, this is a fun one. I hate to do it. I feel like every other game I'm like, man, this is a fun team to study. But it is. It's just the truth. It's the football, in me. Just watching these teams you go up against. And I said this the other day. Sometimes I wish I could just turn it off. Sometimes I wish I could just show up Sunday, watch, turn it off, and show back up Sunday. But I don't wish I can do that. But there's times where the season's playing out the way it's playing out, and you're just like, man, this is ugly. And then you look around the league and you're like, man, this is beautiful. I like to see what that be like. Don't I got a button for that? I don't think what that be like.
I'm trying to see what that be like right there. Look, be that. Look.
You know how many times I hit my colleagues up and I'm just like, man, you see that play? I'm trying to see what that be like. I do it every week. I'm like, hey, man, did you check out? But I think it actually keeps me going from a work standpoint. It keeps me going. Man, did you see they did it?
I'm trying to see what that be like right there. Look, be that. Look.
Hey, sometimes you gotta laugh through the pain, man. So let's go ahead. Let's just get right into it. Let's just break this thing down. Not breaking news. Not breaking news. I'm looking for my break it down button. I don't even know where it's at. Oh, there we go.
Break it down.
I mean, you could just look at this right here and be like, man, I'm trying to see what that be like. I just pissed myself off looking at this graphic. And this is just a basic graphic I always use, but just Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts. Look, as much as I like CD Lamb, I trade CD Lamb for this operation right here. I will swap our entire situation from a skill position standpoint for this here. But it needs to come with this man you see in the bottom right, and that is Zach Robinson. So a couple years ago, was it last year, when the Cowboys let Kellen go or they decided to, leave or what have you, there was a handful of names I dropped on here. A handful of names. Some seasoned guys that, hey, maybe you should pick up the phone, see what they still got. And then there was some young guys that have not been offensive coordinators yet. And one of those guys big name now, I talked about a lot was Bobby Slowick. And we saw what Bobby Slowick did last year with the rookie quarterback in Houston. And, he's continuing to, make that offense a solid offense, right? Another one of those up-and-coming guys was Zach Robinson. And at the time, Zach Robinson was with the Atlanta. He was with the the Rams. Pass game coordinator, assistant type guy, right? I'm like, hey, he not only touched, shoulders with McVay He was in those meetings. He was setting up plans. Get me this guy too. Let's bring him in, see what he got. Didn't happen, right? And now he goes to Atlanta, and now they're starting to get rolling under his leadership. Background on Zach Robinson. Spent 5 seasons as an assistant under McVay, between quarterback coach, wide receiver coach, pass game coordinator, whatever. He's done it all on the offensive side of the ball, under Sean McVay. And he worked his way up to being a first-year offensive coordinator in Atlanta, right? And when you watch his offenses, you see the Rams' imprint on both the pass game and the run game. Now, it started off a little shaky, right? They're trying to figure it out, new offense. They weren't quite there just yet. They had only scored, they were averaging something like, 18 points per game the first 3 weeks. Well, they woke up. The 4 of the last 5 games, they've averaged about 30 points per game. A little over, I believe, actually. Maybe, the Seahawks game, you're looking at 14-pointer. But 4 of the last 5 games, 26 points, 36 points, 38 points, 31 points. 550 yards, 423 yards, 400 yards, 370. Yeah, I would say they have found their footing under Zach Robinson. And it's really hard not to when you look at the complement of weapons that they have and combine it with what they like to do, with what he likes to do. What does he like to do, Sky? Well, this team runs 11 personnel at a higher rate than anybody in the National Football League. 85% of the time they're out there in 11 personnel. And they're equally as good as running out of it and passing out of it. They're top 10 in EPA per play, running or throwing. It does not matter. But we know where it always starts for the Dallas Cowboys each and every week, right? And it's about stopping the run. And you're going to go up against, arguably, one of the toughest backfields you would have seen this season, because they use both of these backs in tandem. Now, they don't give a whole lot of carries to Tyler Algier, but when he does touch the rock, it's pretty successful. When you watch how they do it, it's really hard to find a run where they are not having any type of at-snap or pre-snap movement. It's hard to find any play in that in general, but when you watch them run the ball, watch the difference in how they use their motion, use their shifts, and use their at-snap motion, and look how the Cowboys do it. It's a staggering difference, man. We were joking about it yesterday with Vach, right? Like, the Niners do a very similar thing, right? But the Rams also do this. The Falcons also do this. Even if it's just the first shift or motion out of 3 they're going to do pre-snap, watch the receivers. They're at it. They're look, man, it's not like they're just doing this here like, let me tuck in my chain. They're stop. Next guy, stop. Then the next guy, it's at snap. So you don't know when that ball is going to be snapped because they're all running at the same pace. It's really cool to see, for real. But it's frustrating when you watch how lazy we do it. And they do this in the ground game. And they do this for a reason, because, obviously you want to keep these guys at the second and third level guessing on when the ball's going to be snapped. But also those receivers are part, a lot of the time, of the run. They're part of run blocking. These guys are firing off the ball, trying to find a body to get the hat on the hat. The tight ends, usually when they're doing the ass snap, is very similar to the Rams, very similar to the Niners. They're going to be used as a lead blocker a lot of the times. They pretty much have everyone at their disposal to block in the run game. And like I said, Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson are it's going to be a tough 1-2 matchup to deal with. Depending on which metric you're looking at, both are top 10 or 5, depending on which metric, in yards after contact per attempt. Meaning these dudes are not easy to get down on the ground. And they're different in the way they do it. Bijan can make you miss out in space. Tyler Algier is just tough to bring down because he's a physical runner. But Bijan freaking Robinson, man, I don't think there's a weakness in his game. I truly don't believe that is the case. We talked a lot about him, me and Foots, leading up to the draft 2 years ago. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, pick your poison. Both of these dudes are going to make somebody's run game a lot better. They're a special type of runners in that sense. But Robinson, man, he can take it from the crib anywhere. I think he has elite agility, elite balance, breakaway speed. There's a play last week. I mean, dude's just good. There's a play last week where you talk about making guys miss at the second level, setting them up before they even get close to you. He did that multiple times and was able to create big plays. Something that might have been a 6-yard gain. He's able to, and now it's 15 yards, 20 yards. Between the tackles, outside the tackles, does not matter. Dude can get it done. There's not a weakness in this game, in my opinion. But he's just as dangerous in the passing game. So last week, the Cowboys didn't have to really worry about a running back out the backfield, no CMC. This week, it's a totally different story. Bijan Robinson ranks in the top 3 in receptions, yards, and targets out the backfield. So he's going to get the ball thrown to him. You better be ready to hunker down and tackle. Last week, we dodged a bullet. One of the biggest weapons for the Niners is having Christian McCaffrey being able to catch the rock out the backfield. They literally have designed plays for him to do that, right? They get guys moving, get out in space, not just screens, but just getting them one-on-one. You'll see him motion them out, and now he's got one-on-one with a linebacker, and you run a Texas route, boom, right? Well, the Falcons can do all of that with Bijan Robinson, but they also can just dump it off and let him get busy. Because if you go watch their concepts, they're not really trying to just dump it off to Bijan. They got a lot of things going on behind the scenes, or in front of, I should say, Bijan. That's where they're trying to go. And if it's not there, they'll dump it off to him. And he'll be able to get a lot of yak. Algier, you don't want to use the term finesse with that guy. He's a brute. He's not going to try to make you miss with wiggle or twitch or agility or nothing like that. He's just a powerful back, man. Tough 220-pound back that's just really hard to get down on the ground. I think he complements Bijan extremely well. And if you look at it, he averages more yards per carry than Bijan. But again, they are one of the better 1-2 punches in the league. I think they complement each other extremely well. And I always talk about complementing your backfield. I talked about that when they decided to keep Tony. Okay, bet. Well, then bring in an Algier type, right? Complement these guys in the backfield. Talked about it this year. I didn't think it was a complementary backfield. I didn't. And we're kind of seeing that play out. And they're starting to find a rhythm in the run game. It's 3 straight games over 120 yards heading into Dallas. 198, 155, 129. I think we should probably gear up to stop the run, right? That's where it always starts for the Cowboys. You have to be able to stop the run. This team is unique, though. They don't run it a whole lot. They're 22nd in the league in attempts, but they're very efficient. This is what I always talk about. It's not always about being number 1, 2, 3 rushing team in the league. I mean, if you are, cool, kudos. But you can easily be a team that throws the ball well, has weapons to throw the ball well, but have a complementary run game that, hey, I don't got to be top 10 in rush attempts, but I got to be efficient. They're around top 10 in yards per carry, all solely based off of their running backs. Both of their backs averaging 4.5 plus yards per carry. The run game scheme, I believe, is Dwayne Lodge is their offense coordinator. Offensive line coach. They've always had a decent offensive line, even back in Matt Ryan's days, and they tried to replenish that, drafting Bergeron, who we talked about a lot a couple years ago. And they got, I think, is Matthews still out there? He's still around? Let me see real quick. No, he's not. Yeah, he is still out there. I'm sorry. McGarry is on the right side. Matthews is on the left. So you got Matthews, Bergeron, and Lindstrom, right? Those 3 guys are really good young, well, not Lindstrom and Matthews, but Bergeron's a really good young player, but those 3 make a really good nucleus. And then you don't have to have 5 offensive Pro Bowlers, right, on the O-line, but they have a really good scheme. And again, if you want to see what it looks like, just go watch the Rams. It's very similar to the Rams and how they run the ball. So I would say start there, but you can't sell out. This isn't like the Niners last week that were down 2 of their top 3 pass catching weapons from a receiver standpoint. Totally different animal you're dealing with, but you do got to stop these guys in the run game. You do. Before we switch it over and get to the pass game, I'll take a couple calls here, Cowboys Nation. 469 was on hold first. What's up with you, 469?
Hey, good morning.
What's up with you? Good morning.
Hey, we got to stop the run game, man. Because Bijan, we got to play better, bro.
He said, hey, forget all that. We just got to play better. Yeah, I mean, you ain't lying.
Yeah, man. We got to play better. I was reading on the internet about DeJuan Bland. If he don't practice, he has to go on the season-ending injury thing.
Correct.
Is he gonna play? You think he's gonna play, or is he out for the season?
I'm skeptical on playing. Like, we really don't know, right? We have to see if he practices. But what has me a little bit skeptical is that when we thought he was going to play full practice, and then DNP, he had a setback. So we just got to see him get through a full week of practice all the way through Saturday. And then I'll be able to feel confident. But even if he practices full the next 3 days, I can't feel confident until I hear that, hey, there's been no setback. Let's go. But either way, I think they take him off of the IR. I think they have to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Michael Parsons, he should play.
He's
probably
closer than Bland, but they said they'll know. Let me read this again. Jerry and Mike said it's too early in the week to determine or not if he plays. So determine if he plays or not. So they'll know a little bit more today, tomorrow. Kind of similar to Bland, except for he's not on IR.
Yeah. Can't turn over the ball, man. They like to run the ball and throw it to their tight end, and they got some receivers, number 5 and number 1.
Yeah,
gotta play because they can play, man. I watched their little highlights and stuff.
I mean, the Falcons are that's a good team. When we did I'm not sure how long you've been here, but in the off season, we're kind of in that down period. I think we did like our top 10 passing offenses that you were going to play or whatever. And the Falcons were in that top 10 for me. And, some of the skepticism was, well, we haven't seen them together. And I'm like, I hear you. But, London and Mooney and Pitts and Robinson, and now they got a quarterback that can get them to rock instead of a, backup from last year. Like, that's a tough individual, talent collection. Now it's a matter of Zach Robinson piecing it together. And after a slow start, he's pieced it together. It looks really good out there.
I think it's gonna be another like close game, but we got to score. We got to score points, man.
It's only close if we score.
Can't come out in the we can't come out in the third quarter. Play the first half good. Come out third quarter, don't play. We got to play 4 quarters, bro. We got to play and try to win. And try to win every quarter. Stop giving the ball to Zeke. I think it's gonna be Rico and Cook as the running backs. And that'll work. Because Cook's faster than Zeke. He's better than Zeke. I know you want a power run and all that, but my bad.
I want a what now?
I know they want a power run and put Zeke in there and run the ball.
Sure.
But nah, man, fuck all that.
Let me ask you a question.
You need the best running back.
The running back the backfield's not good, so that's just that. But last week, in the first half, Zeke was seeing green, finding green, and getting downhill and getting you 4 or 5 yards of pop. You want him to, if it's working, you want him to just not keep doing that? Not saying that it kept working, but if something's working in a game, I don't give a damn if it's Hunter Lipke. I don't care if they put a lineman at fullback and he getting 5 a pop. How about you do the things that keep working? So I don't. The backfield, to me, we talk about it all the time. I don't think it's a good backfield. But if somebody's having a good game or somebody is coming off of a good game, Rico Dowdle, I'd like to go back to that and see if we can continue to do that at an efficient pace. That's just me.
Why does he keep using shotgun and handing it off in shotgun?
Well, brother, we have a terrible shotgun run game, but they did a few things last week I did like, but that's
I don't like that play. His play calling is horrible, man. You got to get rid of that coach.
Indeed, brother. In closing, though, before we keep talking around the circles.
Yeah. I just want them to win. Even though if we don't win, play good. You know what I'm saying? Don't just come out there and just give up. Because the second half, the fourth quarter was good. We just got to play a complete game, man. I hope we win. You have a blessed week, okay?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Take care, okay?
You too, brother. Yeah, man. Look, I hope Rico Dowdle comes back and they kind of get back into trying to get him established and then complimenting him with Zeke, even though I don't think they're much of a complimentary, backfield. But I don't know. I don't really have a lot of faith in this run game, man. I just don't. I don't think we do anything well in the run game. I don't think we have a good enough offensive line to do what they want to do. But last week they did some interesting things against light boxes. And I saw a stat I think it was RJ Ochoa who dropped this stat. There's only 2 backs who had 10 or more carries and saw 0% stacked boxes. Zeke and A-Chain. So they're clearly like, we don't care. I mean, we saw this coming into the game, right? Look at the statistics. Both Rico and Zeke are bottom third in stack boxes. So they don't respect our run game. But last week, they did some things early in that game that, okay, if you get a light box, this could work. Now, the Niners play at a width that I don't know that everybody plays with because they like to get, their guys one-on-one. Malik Collins is a dangerous pass rusher from the interior. Obviously, we know about Bosa. I don't know if Atlanta plays that way. I have to go look at it. But if they don't play with that width, then it's going to be tougher to find green like we saw last week with Zeke. So now you got to find different ways, right? And that's where you would hope Rico with the agility and more burst, you would hope he can, combat that if they're going to play more condensed. But I got to go watch the Atlanta Falcons defense, which I'll do today. But last week, playing in that width, they did some things on the interior that played towards Zeke's strengths, right? Getting him downhill. They created some green. He found the green and got downhill. I mean, look, what are you going to do? Now, do I want to give Zeke 20 carries a game? Absolutely not. But 10, 12 carries when he is RB1 in that way, you almost have to. If Rico's not playing, somebody's got to get at least 10 totes to get in some type of a rhythm. We can't keep going to this thing purposefully one-dimensional. Can't keep going. If you say, well, F Zeke, which whatever, man, or F Rico or F whomever, whatever. They're the only guys we got. You can't go into these games saying, all right, 2, 3, 5 carries and getting up out of here with 9, 10 carries to our running backs. Just can't do it, man. You just can't do it. So, unless you're going to go out and get you a back in this trade deadline, which they're not, then we just got to work with what we got, man. And honestly, I'm exhausted. I'm not even trying to exert so much energy into the backfield because it is what it is. It's at best a mid backfield. At best. So, this is what it is. Los, what's up?
Yo, good morning, Sky. Man, you get back to me real quick? Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, I'll come back to you, man. Let's get 210 and then we'll break down this Falcons pass game. Good morning, 210.
Yo, what's good with you? Sky, what's good with you?
What's up?
Wednesday. Just want to call. Hey, the Atlanta Falcons team, man, it's not the same Atlanta Falcons team we faced back in 2020 when, we had that crazy comeback. But their offense is going to get the defense. Oh, yeah, 2021, what I'm saying. My fault.
No, both. But, 2020 or 2021. Both of those years, we played them back-to-back years, and they're not the same team. You're right.
Yeah, I would say their offense is going to give definitely defense issues just due to the fact that they have so many weapons. And, shoot, Bijan Robinson's still that dude. But I was listening to watching Broadus' podcast last night, and dude Nick Harris said something interesting when Jerry Jones told Jason Garrett, hey, you need to give a play calling. I think you need to do that with Mike McCarthy, honestly, and give Shoddy a shot at this point because Aaron Rodgers said it best. McCarthy is not smart at all. I ain't gonna call him no names, but he's not smart at all.
Well, there's a caveat to that situation, okay? These guys handpicked Kellen Moore to be the successor, right? To Jason Garrett. He actually snatched play calling away from Jason Garrett when I want to say Callahan was here. And then when Linehan got here. So he never had play calling. in 2018 or 19. It was Scott Linehan. Linehan called plays for the Cowboys from 2014 to 2018. And then once 2018 rolled around, or 19 rolled around, they gave play calling duties to Kellen Moore. And it was Jason Garrett who was realizing, I might be going down. I might be getting not fired, but not re-signed. So he approached Jerry and said, I'd like to take back play calling duties because the offense got weird towards the middle end of the season. And Jerry said, no, this is my guy. Kellen's our next guy. There is no next guy, chosen guy, golden boy under Mike McCarthy. So that's why he's not taking it to give it to Shotty. Now, I agree. We need to fire Mike McCarthy and then try to figure something out, give a shot in the arm, pun intended. Maybe it's Shotty. To me, I like to see what Scott Tozine has, and then you make Shotty the interim coach because he has that energy that Mike McCarthy does not have. But I think there is, context you got to add to that situation. It's not as cut and dry as, he took play calling away from Jason and gave it to Kellen. No, Jason never had play calling. Scott Linehan was a play caller for 4 or 5 seasons. Then it was Kellen Moore. He requested to get it back, and he was denied.
Okay. Appreciate you for giving me context on that. I'm just not deep diving into this Cowboys mess, but yeah, man. Hope they pull out with the win. But I told Voch like a while back when they was playing the Saints, before it was too late. Now you got bad film on Donovan Wilson, but we should have been packaged his ass up and sent him on his way.
Oh man, that one hurts me. That one hurts me the most because I thought these safeties under the Zim scheme was going to play a lot better than this. But we're going to get into that here in a second. But yeah, man, it's time. It's time to make a change. I personally wanted them to compete for it with Wanye and Bell in the preseason in the camp, but that didn't happen. But I don't know how you can watch week in, week out, or at least last week, especially with Donald playing man coverage. That is not his forte. And say, we're just going to roll this again next week against Kyle Pitts. Like, no.
Oh, you can't do that. After he just went off this past week, he's basically a wide receiver, pretty much.
Yeah, so, man. We're gonna watch some film. He was routing up an All-Pro.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean he was like that in Florida. He didn't have a quarterback for like 2-3 seasons. So now he got hurt.
Or a coordinator that knew how to use him. They had Arthur Smith. They didn't know what he's doing with him.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, man, I'm gonna let you get into the film. I ain't trying to hold you up too much, man. But hopefully the Cowboys come out with a win this weekend.
Indeed, man. Appreciate the call. Yeah, that situation back then, I believe I explained it correctly there. He got the play calling duty snatched along. I want to say it was a year Callahan actually called the plays. I could be wrong, but I want to say it was a year. And then Jason took it back. I think Jason might have took it back maybe 2013 or something like that because Callahan was here before Linehan got here. And then I think when that happened, Callahan requested to be gone. He was like, man, can I get up out of here? And Cherry said, no. They're going to stick around for one more season. I think it was 1 or 2 more seasons. I can't remember what it was. And ever since then, the whole, it's really not a secret. The open secret, though, is that Callahan despises this organization because he was not granted to be released from his contract to move on. So he stuck around for like an extra year. I want to say the 2014 season for sure. But yeah, and then Linehan got here. He was a pass game coordinator, offensive coordinator, and the rest is history, man. The rest is history. Linehan, I always gave credit to what he did in Dak's rookie year. Excuse me. Given the offense was tailored for Tony Romo, quite literally drafting Ezekiel Elliott, trying to lean more to the run game after seeing what happened in 2014, having a run game to complement your older quarterback who was compromised from an injury standpoint, but could throw it. And then he gets hurt 2 weeks before the season, and Linehan had completely changed the offense. Like, seriously. He completely changed the offense. I think the word out there was, leaned into more what was, I can't remember the head coach's name over there in Mississippi State at the time, but he coached, I think it was the Florida quarterback, Tim Tebow. And he did a lot of that shotgun, RPO, read option stuff, get under center. He did a lot of things that Dak was doing in college. implemented that, and that's why you saw such an efficient year on top of obviously having dudes, right? Offensive line, run game, stuff like that. But that's why it didn't look too big for Dak. He was comfortable doing the things they were asking him to do. And then the rest is history. They said, well, I guess we don't need Des Bryant. I guess we don't need this and that, and we can just keep doing that. No, that's not the case. You still need to add guys. You still need to grow. Linehan never grew. The Cowboys never grew from a skill standpoint until they were forced to do so and go get Coop. And Linehan was still in the dark ages, and they said, well, we got this new young, coordinator who was the quarterback's coach for a season. That's our handpicked guy. And that's why he was the offensive coordinator after not being an offensive coordinator anywhere, after not being a coach but for one season. Let me say that. He hadn't coached but for 7 months in his life. And he was given the keys to, some would say a Ferrari, right? Because at that time you had Gallup, who was coming off a good year. You have Amari Cooper. Zeke was still Zeke. And then you had CeeDee Lamb, I think, was at the time. So, as they say, politics, man. Politics. All right, let's get back to breaking down this Falcons team. Kirk O'Bangs is what they call him out there in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins, man. First year as a signal caller in Atlanta. And as much as we want to have fun at Kirk's expense, man, I've always said this all the way back when he was with the Washington football people. I said, this dude can play he can play the position, man. He can spin it. He can make every throw. He's got a quick release. And he don't give it. He'll throw into tight windows. I never really joined the mob of laughing at Kirk. He got a goofy dress like he shops at Kohl's. You like that, all that stuff. But just remove that and watch as a quarterback. He can play the game. He can play, man. I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback in my opinion. Now he's compromised though. He cannot move. He's in his first year back from the Achilles injury, and we joke around about Dak not moving around. I mean, he's not that immobile. Kirk cannot move. He can't move in the pocket. He's not moving outside the pocket, and he's only been docked to have 2 scrambles this season. 2. But see, this is what's cool about having a coordinator who understands his team, who understands his weapons, who understands what's in front of him there. Zach Robinson knows that. Zach knows I got a quarterback that's pretty much a statue back there. So how do I combat that, right? You will see them play a whole lot more pistol because he cannot get under center that much. I might have saw maybe 1 snap last week when he got under center. And in general, when you go back and you look at certain type of plays, I bet 90-95% of their plays are out of pistol or shotgun. Pistol because that kind of emulates a under center type of situation where Kirk can fully turn around back to the defense so that we can get play action off in an appropriate way. I think we might have ran a few times last week. Maybe we're starting to sprinkle that in, but I like to run a little bit more personally. But they're primarily going to be out of pistol. Hardly is he going to ever be under center. And we know Kirk Cousins is very familiar with our guy Zimmer, and Zimmer is familiar with Kirk Cousins. They asked Mike Zimmer about that, right? Like, hey, you had Kirk Cousins in Minnesota for years. Don't you have a leg up on him? And Zim was like, I mean, yeah, but he know me too.
Kirk's got a pretty good knowledge of me too. He used to go against us every day, but he's very, very accurate. Takes good care of the football. Very smart and be able to get in and out of plays. I know he had that Achilles last year, and so they're using him a little bit more from the pistol than they were before. But he's always had a really good long ball. He's always been very accurate. He's not going to move around as much as like guys last night. But he's a good player.
Yeah, he's not lying about that. He's not. I saw a comment the other day where it was like, hey, talk about how all the best offenses have these running quarterbacks, right? And I'm like, who leads the league in points this year? Would you guys venture to guess? The Detroit Lions. I wouldn't say Jared Goff is a running quarterback. Kirk Cousins, he's not moving 2 steps off of his spot. And they're averaging over 30 points in the last month and a half of the season. I wouldn't consider Matt Stafford a mobile quarterback. Now, Matt can move, but Matt ain't a running quarterback. Let me say that because the thing was running quarterback. He's not a running quarterback. I think Matt's a really good quarterback. Justin Herbert's not trying to run and take off. I think he's a good quarterback. Jordan Love's not a running quarterback, but Jordan Love can run. But you go look at some of the top 15 offenses in the league in scoring, right? Half of these offenses have quarterbacks who haven't even rushed for 90 yards on the season. Kirk, Jordan Love, Houston's quarterback, obviously Jared Goff. Is it nice to have a running quarterback, right? Daniels, Lamar. Sure, absolutely. It's not imperative. While Dak can't outrun dudes no more and be a running quarterback, he still can move within the pocket and whatnot. That's all I need you to do, right? Just and when you do, throw it out of bounds. Don't try to make the play and it turns into a boneheaded play. I say all this to say the reason why the Falcons and not the Rams, but the Detroit Lions and these teams are able to have a high-powered offense is because they know how to build around a quarterback that is not a running quarterback. They have a system, a scheme, and skilled players that is built towards that. And when you watch how Zach Robinson dials it up, when you watch how some of these teams have built their teams, Bijan Robinson, right? Tyler Algier, Montgomery, Gibbs, Jacobs, right? They understand, I bet he ain't going to run, but we'll get him some runners. I bet. Instead of relying on playing above the 2.3 built in the offense, we'll have answers built in the offense. Zach Robinson has answers built in the offense. Ben Johnson has answers built in the offense. They are a very meticulous designed passing game. It is made to stress you out, whether it's the deep routes or even their short routes. Everything has a meaning to it. Everything has a meaning to it. It's honestly, and this is me studying Ben's. I've studied Ben's offense for the last 3 years because we've played them for the last 3 years. Zach Robinson's pass game might have been my favorite to study, even more so than Ben Johnson. It is, and maybe it's because there's a whole lot of Rams to it, pre-snap, at snap. But I think he's even better than his guy McVay in regards to the route combinations. It's really good stuff. He puts these guys in position to succeed, and he just gives Kirk either easy decisions or easy throws, but Kirk also don't give a damn if it's not easy. He's going to tote that thing, right? He's going to throw that rock, whether it's tight, whether it's open or not. Kirk's going to throw the ball. And when you look at their weapons, we talked about Drake London, Darnell Mooney, and we'll get to them here in a second. For me, it starts with Pitts. Those 3 players all rank in the top 15 in yards at the position. 2 of the receivers in the top 15. And Kyle Pitts is in the top 5. And he is the biggest mismatch Cowboys Nation this week. Point blank, period.
Kirk's got a pretty
Get out of here, Mike. And this is why I'm getting Mike Zimmer up out of here, because he was pressed. Shouts out to Clarence Hill. And you know what? I ain't going to be too hard on Mike. But Clarence Hill pressed him. He said, hey, so have you evaluated the safeties? And I haven't been playing well. What do you think? And Zim's like, man, I'm not about to sit here and tell you how I feel about our safeties in public. We'll do it in private. I took it this way. I said, oh, okay, Zim's not trying to say nothing. So maybe he has addressed that in private, hopefully. Because I don't know how you watch Donovan Wilson get baptized in coverage last week in man for the most part. And Hooker wasn't much better either if you go look at some plays. And you say, we're going to run that back. No. Not against this guy. Not against Kyle Pitts. They do a really good job, and I say they, I'm talking about Zach Robinson. Kyle Pitts was trending towards bust under Arthur. Arthur Smith he's so awful in the pass game. And notice when we talked about Arthur Smith's offense in Pittsburgh, you didn't hear me coming away, oh, one of my favorite. No, it's just not a good. He's not a good play caller. I don't think he's a good pass game schemer either. Run game's a little bit different. But Zach Robinson's a different beast. Zach Robinson has found a way to unlock Kyle Pitts. And, the caller talked about, him doing receiving things. Yeah, Kyle Pitts can do some receiving things. They will spread him out and run receiver type of routes. But remember what we talked about, right? Remember we talked about these guys, almost every play, it seems like, are going to run at snap type of motion. And this isn't the motion where it's just like, hey, we just motion in the motion. There's a purpose to it. And even on this play right here, there's a purpose to it. You're going to see Darnell Mooney at the snap, right? And again, it's not lazy, literally at the snap. Darnell Mooney is going to motion at the snap, sneak out here, and get out into the flats. And they're going to play a traditional cover 3 on the back end, right? Get out to your spots. Get out to your spots. Now, obviously, with Kyle Pitts here, there's a little bit more attention to Kyle Pitts from this linebacker. So he's going to fan out a little bit more, but you see him point, right? He sees it. He sees this at snap happening. So he's going to fan out a little bit to Kyle Pitts. And you can tell this is by design. This is something that they saw on film. So we're going to leak out Darnell Mooney, which is going to make this linebacker have to commit and hold for a split second, right? Like he can't fully double or bracket or what have you a Kyle Pitts. And that one just meticulous second creates the window. And the ball was already thrown. Zip, zoom, see ya. Kyle Pitts to the crib. Now, this was the funny play where he almost, fumbled, but fortunately he did not. Okay, so Kyle Pitts, again, they find a great way to isolate and get him going. Kyle Pitts right here. Now, you're going to see this play, again, out of different formations. They know how to get a similar look out of different formations. Once again, I promise you, go look at this thing. They don't run a play that doesn't start with at snap motion or pre-snap motion. Here we go. So what does this motion do? Take a look at the safety back here in the corner, I believe right here, that's going to follow him. This motion is going to bump this safety down. And at the snap, before we get to Kyle Pitts, let's take a look. They are doubling up on these receivers, okay, purposefully. They're not paying attention to nothing else. And because of that motion, you get all of this back here, this space to use in one-on-one with Kyle Pitts. Now, let's back it up a little bit here. Now, when they do that, I got one-on-one down here, Kyle Pitts on either this corner, slot, whatever, and he puts, this is a good route, and it's a holding penalty. He's going to fake the slant post and then come out and run the corner, and he's just wide open. That's meaningful, purposeful at snap motion. Okay, we talked about running similar plays out of different looks. Instead of having Drake London on this side and motioning, they're going to start with Drake London already on this side. Okay, and this is against a good defense. Okay, this is against and I'm not saying the Tampa is a bad defense, but high level players here. So we already have Drake London here. We want Drake London to press. And we're going to have him do an out because we're going to put pressure on the safety here. And we're going to have a kind of a whip route, choice route, whatever you want to call it underneath. But Kyle Pitts is going to run a very similar route, right? I'm going to fake it inside. I'm going to corner it. It's not Algier, but I think this is Ray McLeod. He did the same thing last play. They're going to shift into this single high, right? Now I got one-on-one. I believe this is Houston, or not Houston. I forget his name, the safety here. And he's going to get wide open running a similar route. They're going to find ways to get Kyle Pitts one-on-one against your safety, man. And if it's one-on-one against Donovan Wilson in man coverage, or Malik Hooker for that matter, I don't like it. I don't like it. We talked about last week could be a great week to get a Wanye Thomas involved, right? Years ago, we used to have a Byron Jones being a tight end stopper. I'm not saying Wanye is a tight end stopper, but Wanye is your best cover safety. Definitely your best man cover safety. I don't know how you can watch Dono get baptized in man coverage last week and roll him back out against Kyle Pitts, who's arguably, and I think Kittle's Hall of Fame, arguably more skilled as a receiver than Kittle. Not saying he's better, just more skilled. So let's not do that, Mike. Let's not roll Hooker or Dono out there in this matchup. What do you have to lose to finally making that? We called it a safety shift a couple weeks ago coming out of the bye. What do you have to lose, man? You have nothing to lose. You're already not a good defense. Let's see what these young guys got. All right. Let me finish up with the other weapons real quick, and we'll get back to the horns. Briefly touched on Drake London and Darnell Mooney, but I think they deserve to be talked about as well because they're not easy matchups. Drake London 6'4", about 215, man. Physical wide receiver. He has a huge catch radius, and Kirk is not afraid to give him, those type of contested targets. He's going to give him a shot in contested situations. Actually, all these receivers he is, but definitely Drake London. He's got the third most contested targets in the league. And he is one of, if not the best contested catch player from a percentage standpoint in the league. I think it's something like 70% of his contested targets he's bringing down. So strong hands. They find ways, again, get him in one-on-one situations. And Kirk is like, you one-on-one, I'll take my chances. It's not 50-50. It's 70-30. That's literally what the percentage is, right? So, Robinson has also found ways to move Drake London around. He's not playing primarily on the boundary like Arthur Smith had him doing. He's moving in the slot more than he did last year. Same with Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney, when he got signed, if you guys remember, we might have briefly glossed over it, but I'm like, hey, I think this is one of the more underrated signings. Straight up. In fact, yeah, we talked about it when we did our rankings. Darnell Mooney was a really good receiver in Chicago. A legit weapon with Justin Fields as his quarterback. He was wasting his career in Chicago. He kept coming up in trade talks and nobody ever made a move. Well, he hit free agency and Atlanta said, yes, please, we'll take him. Really good route runner, quick, can snap really well out of his routes, gets upfield in a hurry, explosive. I mean, this is a good receiver, very underrated receiver in the league, in my opinion. And he's already halfway to 1,000 yards, and he already has a career high. He tied his career high in touchdowns from Chicago. He's got 4 of them. And they're not treating him just like a slot guy either. He's playing outside more than he played in his time in Chicago. In fact, it's almost flipped completely. So as much as we know, I think Kyle Pitts is the biggest mismatch. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, they will throw the ball to all these guys, and you really got to buckle up. Strap up this week, man. In my opinion, for real, you got to find a way to get turnovers. You have to find a way to get turnovers against this offense. And the number one way to do that is to pressure Kirk Cousins. If he's able to sit back there like Brock Purdy was able to sit back there last week, forget about it. They might put up 45 on you just like 40 plus like all these other teams did. At the crib, come on. You have to get to Kirk. The difference with Kirk and maybe some of these other, he can't move. So I am very curious if without Micah Parsons, how they design some of these pressures. I like some of the pressure looks they gave Justin Fields, who was an actual running quarterback. Maybe you go back to some of those looks. The difference, though, is all you had to worry about was who's the receiver out there? George Pickens. All you had to worry about was Pickens. Not the case here. Arthur Smith's not a great offensive coordinator. Zach Robinson is. They have a ton of weapons. So you have to be strategic in how to do it. But again, it's almost pick your poison. Do you want to sell out or stop the run? Kind of can't do that because they can throw the ball. Do you want to sell out blitzing and pressures and mixing up looks against Kirk Cousins? Sure, but you better make sure you get home, because if you don't think Zach Robinson knows what you're finna do, and Kirk is like, I bet you want to blitz this guy. I like Darnell Mooney against Kalen Carson or whomever, right? So not an easy matchup, a tough matchup that honestly you just have to get the ball. Punch the ball out, peanut punch, tip balls. You can't drop those. He's going to throw a bunch of contested throws. You got to get the picks. That's how I see this thing happening. If you don't do that, if we're continuing to be a team that cannot turn the ball over, the Cowboys have not had a real turnover since week 1. Like a meaningful. You know how crazy that is? No, Scott, they got a pick against the Saints. It was like 37-6 or whatever it was at the time. You know what I'm saying? It was 37-6. The game was over. No, Scott, they had an interception against the Giants. The last play of the game. No, Scott, they got the fumble against the Pittsburgh. Yeah, when they were tossing the ball all around just trying to score the last play of the game. They have not had a real turnover, I think, since week 1. Now, I could be wrong. Y'all could go double check it. But that can't happen. You got to get the rock and you got to pressure Kirk. If you don't do any of those things, you can forget about it. That's a good question. How would I feel about Izzy on Pitts? I like Wanye better. I think Wanye's a better player. I think he's a more athletic player. I think he's more twitchy. But I get what you're saying. Like if you're going to put Izzy on a guy, that's the guy that fits the mold. A 6'6". I think Pitts has some twitch to him, but he's not quite a legitimate wide receiver. Where Izzy, to me, I don't like to see Izzy on legitimate slot guys. Like if he's going to be a slot corner, then don't put him on those slot guys. On a Darnell Mooney, he'll get worked. Put him on a Pitts. I'd take Izzy on Pitts over any of these safeties, but I want to see Wanye for the starting. I want to see Wanye Thomas get a crack at it. All right, let's get back to it, man. 334, you are live.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on with you?
Man, I ain't gonna hold this guy. This team right here, they spooked me, man.
That's a good team.
They spooked me, man.
Not a bad team at all.
Bro, the vibes they give me, man, is what you said. But I don't know if you were referring to them, but they give me Detroit Lions vibe, bro.
Oh boy.
Just with the skills.
I wasn't even thinking of it like that, but yeah. That's a solid line, not as good of a line. Really good scheme, really good weapons, and a good run game. Yeah.
Yeah. Even on the other side, man, like I just see it like, you know what I'm saying, with Garrett and Juwan, bruh.
Oh, the defense.
It's gonna be a solid team, man.
Yeah, I haven't studied their defense yet. I'll be doing that today. Mostly today was offense. So, but yeah. I mean, you're not 5-3 in a bad team, that. So.
Yeah, I got you. We ain't gonna talk about that defense, but just the offense, man. They are a solid team, brother. And I've never been a fan of Kirk, but just like golf, I ain't been a fan of golf. Look, he got so many playmakers around him, bro. He don't have to do much.
Yeah, I would describe myself as a fan of Kirk or Goff, but I always respected them as quarterbacks. Like these are quarterbacks that can spin it, make every throw. They're smart quarterbacks, accurate. Like these are good quarterbacks. These are quality quarterbacks, man. Are these elite quarterbacks? Are these the Mahomeses of the world, the Jacksons? No, but these are quality quarterbacks that if you surround them with good coaching and good pieces, they can make it tough on you week in, week out.
Yeah, that's what makes me give me the Detroit vibe, because man, with the backs that they got, man, these Bijan's just take it all the way, bro.
Bijan's a problem, and the bro. He's so nice, bro. He's so nice, though. When I watch him, I'm like, man.
It ain't gonna be like they dropping the ball and not making that catch. He gonna catch that ball, and the way that San Francisco had that open field when Debo dropped the ball, bruh.
Well, I actually blame that on Purdy. Purdy threw that thing way behind Debo. If he leads Debo, that's a whole different story. Or not even lead him, just put it on him. But
Yeah,
that's
man.
that's neither here nor there. I'm with you, man. This is a tough matchup, brother. Tough matchup for the Falcons offense.
And I just see like, man,
In closing.
I don't understand, like, man, getting Bland out there, man, and getting Mike out there, man, that might be a great help for us, man. Like getting, like,
yeah, I mean,
I guess it ain't nothing like, you know what I'm saying, getting your best players back out there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, of course, if you get your 2 All-Pros back, it's going to be a help, right? Yeah, it's going to help. How much? We'll see, because when they were healthy, they were getting walked. So
I'm saying it for the rest of the team and like confidence. If you see this like Micah and Trayvon keep saying 7-11, and you know these guys just seeing that player that player that you know to the right of you, like, oh yeah, he gonna make a play. Let me lock in too. You know, that can really help these guys out. And I just feel like putting them on ice like that, man, it's gonna set us back if we don't have them, bro.
Sure. I mean, when we had them, though, we was getting worked. So that's why I'm like, hey, man, let's just see. Because we was getting 40 put on our heads with Micah Parsons, with DeMarcus Lawrence, with Marshawn Nealon, with Diggs out there, Kalen. Like, granted, Bland wasn't playing, but with all of your dudes, you was getting whooped by solid offenses, good offenses. So, and now without them, of course, it's going to be even tougher. But you're not lying. Getting these guys back will help their morale. And hopefully it gives a shot in the arm to where they go from being one of the worst defenses in franchise history to just being competent. That's kind of just where I'm looking at. But appreciate the call, man.
All right, brother.
Sure. All right, Los, you ready now, brother?
Yep. Good morning, Sky. Can you hear me good?
I got you.
I hope you're having a great morning. I'll keep it my 2 beans, and I'll keep it moving, man. My first bean and my first point is this. I'm not this all Atlanta Falcons offense. They are surrounded by weapons, right? Sure. And let's keep it a bean. I mean, Bijan Robinson is not having the year which me personally, I didn't think he was going to be expecting. I thought he was going to be ranked higher in the top 5 running backs. But I mean, he's still a running back that if you let him go, get rid of him, let's not get it twisted. He is gonna run on you, right?
He don't even need
rhythm.
Even though
he's not better.
You talking about Bijan Robinson?
Go ahead. Yeah.
He don't even need rhythm. That's the scary thing about him. He can take either the first, third, or fifth carry to the crib, or he'll take the 15th carry. Like that's the scary part about Bijan Robinson, like Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Where Jahmyr Gibbs took like his second carry 70 yards or whatever it was last week. These are the type of runners that strike fear in you because there is no, all right, man, we got to give them 15 carries just to get going. Nah, that's not one of these dudes. These dudes can make their first, third, fifth carry count. So you got to be on it every time he touches the rock.
Exactly, Sky. And if you don't wrap him up, man, you're just going to make his confidence grow. And we cannot forget about Tyler Azure neither, right? They're a good 2-back combo that, they're going to use that game plan on us because if there's one thing the NFL teams that know how to do is actually look at scheme and how to play against us because, look at them. They can't stop this. No, let's do that because until they stop it, we're just going to do it, right? And one thing that you did brought up is we're going to have to do something which we haven't done since week 1, Sky. And like you said, and that's create pressure. I mean, we haven't had like a 2 or 3 sack game in so long. Or turnovers, right? And
we've gotten 3 sacks. We low key we sacked the Lions 3 times, but it ain't so much about the sacks, right? Because that's how sacks can be deceiving. Oh, you sacked the Lions 3 times, yeah, but you didn't get pressure. You weren't pressuring these dudes consistently. Like the Cowboys last week got no pressure on Brock Purdy, and then by the time Brock was like, I don't like what I'm seeing, I'll just take off. You have nobody to be able was chasing him down, so. You've got to be able to get consistent pressure and then cover on the back end and do those things at the same time have not happened. They're peanut butter and no jelly for the Cowboys.
Exactly, Sky, and we're going to see how we create this pressure, right? Because we're so without with DeMarcus, right? And we don't know how healthy Mike is going to come back. So, I mean, it's going to be up to Mike to find ways to give Kirk eye candy or create some blitz packages or basically just create some pressure inside this game because if you cannot create pressure, man, Kirk might have a 500-yard game against us like he did against, I forgot what other team, but And if that happens, I'm not going to be surprised.
It was
it is what it is.
Bro, he did that at the crib to the Bucks defense. Todd Bowles' Bucks defense is not as bad as the Cowboys. So then I'll keep it at that. So, yeah, you got to get to Kirk Cousins. You have to.
Yeah. And my last point is this. I'd like to get you to the other callers. And it's tied into last week because I couldn't call in last week, and it's about the Cowboys 49ers. And I've been listening to your show, Sky. I mean, as Cowboys fans, we're not surprised at what's going around with this team, especially if you watch A-to-Z Sports, the best commentator here in the morning, watching you. We're not surprised, right? But my thing is, like you said, Sky, we ain't shit, man. We ain't making NFL money. I'm just a fan that's been watching this team for ages. You're a fan, just basically love diehard Cowboys and look to the success you are. But we can see things that we need to do to be successful. I don't know what it is around this office or that front office that they don't know what it takes to win. But damn it, Sky, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Because like you said, Sky, we can watch film, we can do all this shit, we can talk about it. But at the end of the day, at that Sunday, we ain't seeing shit. We ain't seeing nothing incorporated to that scheme or nothing. And we know what it takes to be successful or to try to compete. But at the end of the day, it comes down to, can this team come together and let's just just be a team, man. I'm tired of this damn hero ball, Dak trying to throw it out here to CD. I'm trying, all this, stuff. It's time to be a team. And if this team is not going to be a team this year, well, that falls on Coach Mike McCarthy. And like I said, I mean, I really wanted him out before this season started, and it is what it is, Guy.
All right, Los. Hey, man, appreciate the call, man. Bless Los's heart, man. Los is like the calm, chill version of Marv. He's the calm, chill version. My boy go, I got 2 things. That was 17 things, Los. Appreciate you, man. I need a drink after that one. A good drink, because I'm full with Los. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to Specs. Jay Lombardi yesterday said, Sky, it's 8:43 in the morning. Why are we going to Specs? Well, because you can go there. You don't got to just get, good selection of beer and wine and liquor. You can get some finer foods at Specs, man. Whether you're planning that watch party for the Cowboys, which I'd imagine these watch parties are dwindling, or you're just looking for that perfect bottle, Specs has got you covered. Great prices, expert advice, and the best brands. You can find them all at Specs. And, they're here to make your game days a lot easier. They have same-day delivery, curbside pickup. You shop online through the Specs app and easily place an order with your local Specs. That's Specs. Cheers to you. Cheers to savings. Hey, if you, don't want to go to Specs, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but you want to go get a drink somewhere, watch the game, come holla at me and Jesse down at Canvas Sports and Social on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, whenever the Cowboys are playing, we will be there. The last few outings have not been great, but either way, man, if I see you, always rap to you. Shouts out to Big A. You always come through, Aislinn, and we always chat it up, talk about it. Appreciate you coming through, Big A, as much as you do, even though at this point in time in the season it could be tough. But if you want to come kick it with us, man, you can at Canvas Sports and Social. Good vibes, good food, good energy. What happened to Marv? Did Marv tap out? Shaq said Los is frustrated, but he calm. Yeah, now don't get it twisted now. Los will drop a couple. He will drop a couple of those. He must have been at work and had to chill out. But yeah, he's like the calm version of Maserati. 361, what it do?
Hey, what's going on, Sky? Man, I feel bad. I know some folks are coming at Zimmer, but when I think about him, he's trying to run a scheme, and he doesn't have the players to do so, and he's trying to mix and match, and there's nothing he can do. We look at the
sure it is.
Look at what he did.
Stop playing the dudes that's getting whooped. But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, I was watching what he was doing this last game. He blitzed. He came with man blitzes, zone blitzes. He sat back. He put him in bear fronts to stop the run. I mean, he did, and it still didn't work.
It kind of worked.
So
it kind of worked in the first half. But let me read a quote to you.
In the first half.
Right. Let me read a quote to you. This is why I'm not letting none of these coaches off, Doug. I don't give a damn who out there. Trayvon Diggs, they said, man, what happened in the second half, man? Trayvon said, I feel like it was their coach. They had great coaching. They adjusted to things we were running. I felt like everything that they called was just a counter to what we were. And it was just like shit out of luck. And he talked about they got good players and good pieces. And you're right. Hey, man, shouts out to him. But then they wanted to have time and adjusted and came out and just pop, 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 pop. And there was no answer until you got to, mid fourth quarter. And they tried to salvage it. But, listen, I will give him some grace in the fact that obviously you have injuries. I'm not naive to that point. But I've heard enough of him at the podium and some of the things he's been saying publicly, some of the things he's not doing on the field, right, with the safety position, that I'm like, whatever, man. He's clearly just here riding out this 1 year. He understands how frustrating it is to have these injuries, and it's just, like you said, there's nothing he can do about the injuries. But I feel like Zim is just riding this thing out, man.
Yeah, and he's not going to get any help. I mean, there's no trades that they can make or anything like that. I mean, he's basically stuck with the crew he has now. He can.
Oh, there's trades they can make.
He can bench Wilson.
There's trades they can make.
Needs to be done.
But Jerry Jones won't do it. Stephen Jones won't do it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, then it won't get done.
Yeah.
So Zim can, when you have, by PFF standard, the worst nose tackle in the league. That was crazy when seeing that. The worst nose tackle in the league, 119 of 119. That kind of says it all.
Yeah.
That says it all. And when you look at Zim, it's just he did all that. There was no adjustments. Now he did towards the end. He did enough. He did enough to give us a chance to win. And our quarterback does what he does, and couldn't even get 10 yards. But that's a story for another day.
You weren't here yesterday for the breakdown, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. If you thought that was a quarterback, you'd be mistaken. Now, you want to talk about the boneheaded throw.
Okay.
That last possession, if y'all were here for it, if you missed it, please go back and watch. That last possession had nothing to do with the cue. But anyway.
Yeah, but no, that's it for me, man. But yeah, again, Zim's taking heat, but there's only so much he can do.
You're damn right he's taking heat. We got one of the worst defenses in franchise history. What you want me to do? Say, well, you know what, Zim? It's okay, buddy. No, absolutely not.
No, he's gone at the end of the season, though, so it's all good.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, man. I'm not about to sit here and pamper Mike Zimmer. One of the worst defenses in franchise freaking history. You come out to the podium and you say, I panicked. You watch your safety getting smoked all night, and you just like, we're going to do it again. All the mics can go. All of them. 100 grand, what up?
Good, my guy.
What's up with you, man? I'm good.
Bold prediction. How we do it, right?
Hey, man, we coming in hot on a Wednesday. Sure.
I have some things going on, so.
Gotcha.
Here we go. Cowboys beat the Falcons.
Okay.
We beat the Falcons.
Why?
We beat the Falcons.
Everybody
saying we're gonna let it. I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Analogy. What's going on in New York right now? My goddamn Yankees is fighting for our life. We came up yesterday and we blew the Dodgers out.
Hold on. Can I ask you something real quick about the Yankees?
Say that again?
Let me ask you a question real quick about the What was that? What were those Yankee fans doing? Mookie Betts with that foul ball. What the hell was that about, bruh?
I don't understand. I don't like it.
What is wrong with y'all?
Let the ball go. If the ball don't go inside the stands, leave your gloves alone.
But did you see what they did? They tried to open up his glove and take the ball, and then the other dude was keeping it.
He did. And then
these fans is bold, bro.
And then they tried to fight the security. Why you kicking me out? Why you think you get kicked out?
Hey, these fans is bold, bro. They made Steve Bartman look like a saint. I mean, what the hell?
You in the field of play, messing with the play. You think you're not gonna get kicked out?
That's
I hate
crazy.
when they catch. I hate when they put their glove in the field of play and they catch the ball. Like, bro, let it be a home run first.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Wild. My bad. I didn't mean to get you riled up. I didn't even know you was. I didn't know you was a Yankee. I didn't know you was a Yankee fan like that. Shouts out to you. But all right. So you said
that's the one New York team I like. You know what I mean? I'm from here. It's the only team I grew up on is the Yankees.
I was watching the comeback documentary, the Red Sox comeback documentary. I know it's gonna bring back bad memories for you, but man, it was really good. You should go back and watch that, unless you don't want to get triggered. I know. But it was a good documentary.
I'm not watching that.
I know it was a good documentary. But back to the Cowboys, you said they're going to show some fight like the Yankees, who happen to be in the World Series.
Yes.
You know, they're a championship team. But go ahead.
But Sky, listen, Sky. I knew it was going. I knew it was going to be a hard series, but I expected a better showing than what they started off with. And the first two games were heartbreakers. You know?
Right, but
first game to give up that grand slam in the ninth.
Right, but bring it back. Bring it back to Dallas, though. Bring it back to Dallas.
Right.
Tell me how we gonna fight like
it's
them.
The same situation. We've been losing. The team morale is down. I feel like the Cowboys, this is an opportunity that the Cowboys is going to take this chance to show, listen, man, we still got some fight.
Okay.
We still got some fight in us. And everybody's expecting us to lose this football game. Nobody's saying the Cowboys is going to beat them. Everybody's expecting a blowout.
Right.
That's what everybody's expecting. We getting guys back. That's going to help us.
So $100,000.
I see us winning this game.
Fair. So $100,000. Are you surprised that probably mostly everybody's going to pick?
No.
Right, because the way they're playing, right?
No.
The way the Falcons are playing, you're on the road. So you can't be surprised that everybody's like, yeah, man. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be favored in any game for the next 5 weeks. So I don't think that should be a shocker.
No.
Right.
I told you last week what was going to happen, and did it not happen?
Don't do that.
I told you last week.
Don't $100,000. I told you you ain't back on that yet. You ain't get your. I told you so. You ain't get your. Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, I need a couple more wins.
You need it.
Okay, all right.
That shit was obvious, $100,000. Come on, now. You gotta earn that back.
No, but the difference between last week and this week is last week Cowboy fans thought we could pull that out.
Okay.
Let's be real. More Cowboy fans was like,
that's fair.
Get 'em.
But $100,000
this week. Go ahead.
You got to earn it back. Now, I will say this.
I got you.
I will say this. If the Cowboys beat the Falcons in the manner you're talking about, you definitely have working your way back. Depending how I feel the day you call in, you might have earned it back. You might have earned it back. But we gotta let this play out a little bit, bro, because you in the doghouse after the Saints and the Ravens, bro. You in the doghouse.
I respect it.
You work your way back, though. You work your way back, man.
Hey, man. I'll get there, man. You know, I respect it. Man. But real Cowboy fans, some Cowboy fans know the track record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 3 in a row. It's been a while since they lost 3 in a row.
I don't know your sponsor situation, so I'm not going to talk about anything. But you know, fans know. You know what I mean? I don't know your sponsor situation, so I don't want to.
Let me mute you real quick so you can tell me. Let me mute you. What you talking about? You muted. Go ahead. You muted, so you can say what you're trying to say. Go ahead. Say what you're trying to say. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna unmute you. Basically, what he's saying is, check it out. If you want to bet on a game, or I shouldn't have used that. If you want to put your high-low pick'ems in the game, go to Underdog Fantasy Sports. Underdog Fantasy got you covered. If you want to, put a couple dollars on the game. So that's basically what 100 grand is saying. I appreciate you, 100 grand, kind of giving me a heads up on that here.
Facts. All right. But all right, man, we gonna see what we gonna see, my boy. We gonna see what we gonna see. Let's go Yankees tonight. Let's do this.
Hey, I'm actually rooting for y'all to scream back and make this a 7-game series. Who wants to see a 4-1, 4-0 series? Nobody wants to see that, man.
We need 28, man. That's what I want to see. I'm trying to see a parade. It's been 15 years, Sky. 15 years.
09. That's not Yankee-like. All right, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
That's not Yankee-like. I was having fun with, Connor on Twitter. Connor, I don't follow baseball as much as I used to love baseball. I played it for a while. Braves fan. Chipper was my favorite players. Griffey. Probably stopped around like mid-2000s or 2010s. Right around there, kind of stopped having that passion and watching it. So I haven't really been following as much. But every time I go on Twitter, I see Connor is kind of a pessimist in general. He'll tell you that. But I always see Connor just talking shit on the Yankees. So I'm like, all right, I guess the Yankees ain't good. I'm not following baseball. Then I see a tweet and he's like, man, Game 1 World Series, our Yankees is in it. I'm like, huh? I thought the Yankees was trash. No, I thought they wasn't even in the World Series, based off your tweets. But I had a little fun with him on that one. But, hey, man, now they down 3-0, so maybe he wasn't, or down 3-1. Maybe he wasn't lying. Yeah, but Zaytoven, I can't even flaunt being a Braves fan. They won a World Series a few years ago or whatever. I can't do it. I told Pat, because he's a diehard Braves fan, I couldn't even celebrate it, man. That's how real I am when it comes to this fan shit. Like, I can't celebrate it because I wasn't following it. I wasn't in depth with it. So I don't walk around like, yeah, right. But back 90s, 2000s, the Jones brothers, right? Like that was my era of really loving baseball. Then I just stopped. I don't know what it was. Maybe got bored with it, got more in tune with basketball, football. I don't know, man. Just stopped really liking it. Which I'm mad at because it's real. In October and in September, playoff baseball, I actually think the playoffs in baseball are some of the best playoff atmospheres there is in sports. Baseball better to play than watch. That's how I felt. And I think that's why I kind of fell out of it. Because growing up, I played it, right? And then as you get older as a fan, you get even more passionate, right? And then it kind of just dwindled. But I feel like you got to be there. Especially, I would love to go to a playoff baseball game. Would love to do that. All right, Toxic. Send us out, brother. What you got for us, man?
Good morning, Sky. Sorry, I just heard some takes today, and I just had to call in. And you're picking a perfect time to go back into baseball. Let me be really quick. Go Dodgers, 100 grand. The Yankees have been dog shit for the first 3 games. You played the Dodgers bullpen last night, and you finally got some hits. There's a reason why Aaron Judge has been garbage this postseason and a strikeout machine. Dodgers in 5.
I did see those numbers. I saw those numbers on Aaron Judge, which, brutal.
Yeah, and that's Yankee fans for you. They
Facts,
win
bro.
the game they're supposed to win.
Man, I'm just sorry, bro. I'm just thinking about I'm thinking about the Braves back then, man. The pitching staff was crazy. Hall of Fame lineup there, man.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm right now when it comes to this team. First off, after you show the Atlanta Falcons, I grew up dirt poor, and I remember going to friends' house and I see like all the toys and shit that they had, and then you have the self-realization, like, man,
you ain't never getting
I'm
that.
fucking poor as hell.
You ain't never getting
like,
that.
Y'all don't have Mac. Yeah, like you don't use box tops to get food. You don't have a WIC card. What do you mean? Like you, Christmas Day, you have presents under the tree. What do you mean? We don't do that where I live, and that's what it feels like when I go look at other teams. I'm at the point where, do you think this team even practices, or are they more like a rec team that just they say, hey guys, had a great game today. Next Saturday, we're all in Atlanta. Let's all meet at the airport at like this time. We're just going to head over there and just throw this thing together. like a company softball team because you make no adjustments. I don't know if you even watch film because how do you watch film like Zimmer, or maybe your eyes are broken still, and you see Dono and you're like, well, I'm just going to keep doing that. Like, just nothing about this makes sense. Like, are they even trying? Like, do you even watch film and see the other team doing things that are just like, what do you do during the week? I'm at that point.
Yeah. I mean, are you talking about the players or the coaches?
All the above.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, what do you do here? Just like the Bobs from Office Space. What is it you say you do here? We have more fight against the press than we do in the actual teams. I've seen more fight.
They showed a little fight. They showed a little fight in that first half, but then they obviously got knocked out. Yeah.
I just look at us and I think, man, if they were given the right answers to the test, they would still fuck it up. It seems like we want to get in our own way. Is this something like a Succession, like the show Succession, where Mike is like, oh, I'm fired anyway, so I'm just going to make this as remedial as hell and make this so painfully bad for everybody, but I'm going to get my paycheck.
I do think it's an extremely disjointed organization from top to bottom, more so than it's ever been the last 3 years, right? Once you decided to bring back McCarthy on a lame duck season, that started it. That started it, and then you brought in Zimmer. It wasn't like you elevated a guy within your ranks. It wasn't like you brought in some young up-and-comer guy. You brought in Zimmer, and it's like, all right, man, Zim's history says he should be able to do X, Y, Z. Just go give him the players to do X, Y, Z. Damn, you ain't even do that, right? So you didn't even want to go out and get defense line to do that. Okay, now it's like, all right, bet. Making any trades come into the season, making any moves. No, Jerry goes on the radio and says, who the hell we going to get? Meanwhile, the rest of the league is doing that. So it's just disjointed from top to bottom. You're not giving your staff what they want. The staff is just still the same archaic staff offensively. Defensively, obviously, he's working handicapped. Like I said, I will give him grace in that sense, but he is not even adjusting in that manner either. So it's just a mess, brother, from top to bottom. It's a mess.
I've seen more fight from single moms on Black Friday. This whole thing is just, you rolled over. They just look like, they look already defeated. Like losing the coin toss to them, it's over. We already lost. It's done. It's that bad. And, I remember back in the day, we would look at our schedule and go, those are the easy teams. And now we're the easy team everyone is hoping to play to tune up against.
That's real.
And
Hold on.
That's at the point.
Don't gloss by that, man.
Yeah.
Like, maybe in years past, right? But just this year. We don't talk about this year. If I'm a team, I definitely want to play the Cowboys. Think about what defensively, you like, oh man, this is cake. This is cake. I mean, just make how much defensively you gotta, be scared of from a schematic standpoint. They got one legitimate weapon on the outside. I'm not worried about that. Now, offensively, especially now because of all the injuries up front, but even when they were here, it's like, oh, this is what y'all doing? Bet. This is what y'all doing? Okay. Misdirection, at snap motion, middle of the field, 40 points.
I'm playing. I have both Bijan Robinson and Algier in my fantasy league. I'm playing them both. That's how confident I am.
You'd be a fool not to play at least
they're going to carry me.
Yeah, you'd be a fool not to play Robinson.
Give me both of them. Both of them will tear us up. I mean, I saw Isaac Guerrero come in and just look like he was a superstar.
Hey, look, you know what's crazy about that?
And I like him.
Jordan Mason, I guess he was dealing with something, I don't know. But Jordan Mason didn't have a lot of burst, and that was playing to our favor, bro. Like, he couldn't, for whatever, he wasn't hitting it. I'm like, oh, we got a shot here. Them boys said, come here, young man. Come here. Guerrero goes in there, and immediately, you just see him, foul, 19 yards, 16 yards, 20 yards, call back. Like, oh, brother, they found something. They come out in that second half, pop, 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 same thing.
Yep.
You don't got to worry about them having to call somebody off the bench. Robinson's giving that to you right now at the beginning of the game. So, yeah.
Well, in closing, I will say just Dallas, don't embarrass me. That's all I ask. I know you're going to get fist fucked, but please just try to make it competitive so I can enjoy something. Other than that, Fat Garrett, man, if your house ain't on Zillow, I hope it is soon, because I hope your days here are numbered with your fucking fat gelatin thighs. Get the fuck out of here and just go collect a paycheck somewhere else. Other than that, there is not a single person from this coaching staff that I want.
Nah, you got to empty the clip, bro.
Just get out of my face.
You got to empty the clip.
Other than that, go.
Facts. Go ahead.
Go Penn State, beat Ohio State. Have a good weekend.
All right, man. Appreciate you talking. Tom, baby, with the toxic take. With all due respect to Al, all right? Unless the next DC wants Al, you got to empty this clip. From top to, there's no, I don't want no shots out device, no rollover respect. No, well, we're going to keep Kellen Moore. You're going to keep Leon Lett. Remember that? We kept Leon Lett for like 5 regimes. Get nothing against him, but yeah, let the next staff get who the hell they want from top to bottom. And if it doesn't work out, then you fire them, right? Like, just how it works. But of course, man, toxic on fire per usual. Yeah, 68 is like, I'll keep Harris. If the new DC want Harris, cool. In fact, I'd venture to guess. Now I'm not saying we should have got rid of him, but I don't even know if Zimmer really wanted Harris. Because it really don't make sense, right? Like they didn't coach under him. Doesn't come from that style of defense in general. If they decided to bring in his own defensive back coaches, I would have understood that, right? This is not Dan Quinn, so I get it. But we do this. We do this often. All right, we'll bring in this coach who's at the top of the hierarchy, but we're going to keep these coaches. What do they want them? Because Zim brought in a lot of new guys. Zim brought in a linebackers coach. We had to keep Scott McCurley because that's McCarthy's guy. Zim brought in Jeff Skanina to change up the D-line situation. I'm pretty sure he probably wanted to bring in his own defensive backs guy. Again, it's not a knock on Al. It's just we do this often. Hey, Mike, you want to be head coach? Cool. I bet this is what I'm going to do offensively. You not doing jack shit offensively. Kellen Moore. Okay, cool, bet. I'll keep Kellen Moore. We fight, bet, whatever. Kellen going now, right? Mike is a play caller. We see what's going on with Mike. Hey, Mike, Dan Quinn's out. We're bringing in Mike Zimmer. I don't really want him to. It doesn't matter who you want, Mike. We're bringing in Mike Zimmer. Okay, man. Is Mike going to be able to bring in his own guys? Some of them. Not all of them. Some of them. Just disjointed. It just makes no sense. I don't know any other organization that operates like that. I digress. If you missed today's show, we took a look at the Falcons offense. Really tough challenge you got here. If the Cowboys have a good showing against this offense, man, that'd be really nice. I would love to come here on Monday, have a cookout, and it'd be the entire defense, truly. But in studying this team, you walk away, usually every other week you walk away, just jealous of the litany of weapons that they got. Just a bunch of them. And they're not just weapons without a purpose. So weapons of mass destruction because Zach Robinson knows how to deploy them. That's the most frustrating thing. Let's get to some super chats that I might have missed. Let me make sure. What's today's date? Just one. Cool. Perfect. Still them boys drop 5.
Super chat.
Said I be feeling like I'm watching the 5-11 Dave Campo Cowboys every week. This season is depressing. What a time to be alive, man. 5-11 Dave Campo years. Quarterbacks was awful. Offense, defense, everything was just god awful, man. It feels more to me like the 8-8 years. Because they're probably going to finish around 7-9, 6 and. Can you do 6? You can't do 6-10 no more. 6-11. I guess that'd be closer to 5-11. They'll probably finish around 500. Get guys back. Probably win a couple of these games against these bum teams or whatever. But if they want to have any shot at turning around this season, It starts in the A. It starts in the A. Will it be a big enough shot in the arm, say if you had beat San Fran? I don't think so. I think that was a team that you needed to win for your psyche. You needed to win for your psyche. You just need to win this. Ain't got a choice. Ain't got a choice, man. All right, good stuff today. We'll be back tomorrow. Take a look at the Falcons defense later on. We'll dive into the film room. And we'll see how and if. Hey, Mike, it would be nice to do the things that were working in the fourth quarter all the time. Right out the gate. If not, I expect more of the same. I haven't even watched the Falcons defense. And I'm telling you right now, if they go out here and they do the same type of shit that they've been doing to start these games, and for most of the games, I see nothing changing. Nothing. So we'll take a look at the Falcons defense and see where to attack them at the best, man. All right. With that said, I'm going to press this button. Get up out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Gotcha, man. Tweezy, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. CeeLo, it's looking that way, man. It's tough. But I'm here, bro. Like I said, win, lose, or draw, I'm here for it all. I'm going to try to give y'all the best show I can possibly give you, given the product we are putting on the field, man. That's all I can do. We out here. Love y'all. Peace. That's all I can do, man. And I appreciate y'all showing up every day. I mean,